if you're watching this and anything in this video interests you and you want to learn it, join the Discord. It's below in the description. Also, check out the WAP if you're curious on joining the Discord and getting access to education and lectures and community content. So yeah, anyways, peace. Chat, what's up, lads? What's up? Video today going to be going over trade recap, how you could have been looking at the market today to catch shorts or the longs that we initially wanted today. So this is going to be trade recap for today, February 23rd, how you could have caught the longs that we were initially looking for today at market open, but we ended up catching the shorts, and I'll show my funded at the end so you can see the execution. But let's get into the trade recap. So market open today, and I was on my PC at around like 8:30, and we were like right here, and I wanted these longs. I said, these look like really good longs. I wanted these longs because of how we were playing within this 1 hour CISD we inversed. So now we're using it as support to go higher, right? Because we inversed it. Look how the bodies are staying above CE. So when I saw this candle open at 8:15, I was like, okay, this is interesting, because we rejected off this wick right here. Not only that, we tapped into this bullish order block right here. Look how the bodies are above CE. And then we induced this long movement up, and these were the longs that I wanted to get in pre-market. But as y'all know, I don't get in any trades right around like 9ish, because I don't want the volatility of market open at 9:30 to, wick me out, or take me out because of all that extra volatility. So you could have huge wicks, you could have huge imbalances, you could have a bunch of stuff, right? So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I want these longs. I wanted to target the RTH gap, which was right here, right? This was RTH gap at 25.074, but we didn't fill it today, and I called that live while it was happening on stream. I told y'all, once we came down here and I saw how we were reacting on this bigger CISD we had, and look at the bodies. This is a huge signature of bearish order flow. Look at how the candles are playing in these quadrants, right? Then what do? Come up, rejection block right here, and then this is what you could have gotten as like a triple confirmation entry. Once you saw this, then this high, then this intermediate high, this wick, rejection block, inverse this CISD right here, bearish order block right here. Look how we tap CE of this bearish order block to the tick. So I'm getting ahead of myself here, but let me rewind it back, because that's how you could catch the shorts. But we're gonna talk about how you could have caught the longs. That's what I was looking at longs, right? Was this inverse CISD, this order block, how we were playing within this dealing range right here. This is the dealing range. From this high to like this low is basically like the dealing range we're playing in. Quasi, like sort of the dealing range. And if y'all want me to make a lecture on dealing ranges, I can, but it's not like a real dealing range. But for how I trade, it's very the way I trade is very reliant on dealing ranges, and I've kind of figured out a way on how to plot my own dealing ranges to like to be accurate and know, like, really know when the market's in a premium and discount, right? If y'all want me to make a lecture on that, I can. Just let me know. But also look at this. When I was sitting here market open, I had 830 opening price, and look, this is what I was going to take my long off initially, and we were in macro, 850 macro, and this is when I was really going to take my long right here, and we were in stream, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a long, and I was like, no, let me not break my rules, let me wait it out. Regardless, it would have hit and it would have ran, but it's about following your rules that matters, right? That's what really like makes you profitable, is being able to follow your rules. Sure, you could have been right, but if you didn't follow your rules, then you're not gonna be sticking to your system. But those were the longs I wanted to target RTH gap. We didn't get the fill of the RTH gap, right? Which is fine. And look, first once I saw how we were reacting right here on like this, I knew we weren't gonna fill it and we weren't gonna come up any higher. Always anticipate too that at market open, the first kind of move is manipulation. So look how we opened at market and immediately we just had a bunch of buys, right? Bunch of buys. Bodies are staying at CE of this first presented from February 9th, right? Random first presented, right? Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the stories. Then what do we have? CISD. Change in state of delivery right here. We have a CISD, right? More of a confirmation of CISD. Once we take this, right? Come down here. Now, this is how you could have caught these shorts that we were in. And yes, I did catch them early, because I initially like entered about right here, right here, because I wanted to see this right here, this bearish order block that we traded into. You can see we came down, then bought back up, tapped into it. I wanted to see this hold. In addition, we had this CISD right here, right? And then we also had this up here. But I didn't want to see this get traded into. I wanted to see this as a breakaway gap and us only come here, not inverse this CISD, not disrespect this bearish order block, right? And then just continue down. But what happened? We had a bit more of a retracement inverse this CISD, played into this fair value gap, right? First presented fair value gap was right here, which is a breakaway gap now because we didn't trade back into it, right? So breakaway gap right here, and now look, notice how look where the bodies are under CE of this fair value gap, right? Then what do we also tap into right here? This wick right here, which is what? A bearish order block. Look, to the wick right here, bearish order block in combination with us being in this CISD and this bearish order block. Look at that, bodies under CE as well. So these were all things I was looking at as price is forming, right? And I'm looking to take an entry off of. That's why I say I need to take entry off of something. I can't just take an entry off a level or just like a wick like this, right? Like sure, I could have shorted right here and caught like the high a day, right? And just held that. But no, I need to see like confirmations, and I need to see my checklist and my, brain and eye line up price and time, right? Because time is the most important thing. And that's what needs to happen in order for me to be able to successfully trade and successfully execute a trade, is I need to see my things happening on the chart. If the things that I'm looking for aren't happening on the chart, I'm not trading. Why would I throw money into that, into a trading environment that doesn't look tradable, that doesn't look welcoming, right? Why would you do that? That's like you're just fiending it, and you're just itching to throw money in for the sake of it, right? So you need to, that's a point where you need to reflect with yourself and have a checks and balances system, whether that's stepping away from your computer, doing something to distract your mind until PA is better, until a setup that's formed is better for how you trade, right? So then also notice we came up, right, and tapped 8:30 a.m. opening price as well. Look, this wick tapped 8:30 a.m. price before giving us our actual movement at 10:22 and our displacement down. So, I got in my trade, let's see, I got in my trade at 9:16. So right here on this candle right here is when I got in my trade right here, and I took it off. My entry was off of this wick right here. Once I saw this first candle right here, this bearish candle right here, and how it closed like this, that's when I entered my short. Yeah, see, even here, look on my main chart, I still have this. I still have this wick graded, and look how the bodies are forming. Look how the bodies are forming, and this candle right here is what I took my trade off of right here, my short. Because once I saw all this, and I saw okay, I went on the higher time frame, and I saw, look at this, we are so overextended on the buy side of the curve. We needed some sort of retracement down. Like, it was just needed. Like you can see. Also, look, you can see top of February 12th end dog is a point for price to use as a retracement. So we trade to the high of it, retrace. This hits 8:30 a.m. opening price, right? Hits again this wick. Look how we're again once staying below this wick. Then once again, this reclaimed CISD, or a balanced price range is how I look at it, more technical, gets traded into. What gets traded into as well right here, bearish order block. Look, it's under CE of this bearish order block. Look at that. Look at that. So when you start to combine on these things, you can see how it's very easy to read the market, and very easy to read order flow, and very easy to have understanding. And we didn't even get to midnight concepts yet. Look at this, midnight concepts too. We didn't even talk about midnight concepts. Midnight opening range, standard deviation levels, and look, these are all being respected, right? What gets traded to right here? February 19th midnight opening price right here. I mean, right here as well, you can see market open, we wicked high, filled this imbalance, and then we just trended down lower. Yeah, look how bodies are staying at CE. Wicks through the damage, bodies tell a story. And then look, this bearish order block right here, look, the wick to the CE, bearish order block, random bearish order block. Then we have CISD, low gets taken, right? Fair value gap is made, right? It's right here, CISD. Then we get a buyback, tap into this bearish order block, tap into this CISD, CISD, right? BPR right here, this little portion right here is the BPR. Then we have this reaction. We have a move lower low gets set. We have another CISD right here, gets traded into. Look how the bodies are respecting it. Bodies aren't closing through the CISDs, wicks doing the damage. Then we had this graded wick. Look staying under CE, and then we have our move down. So you see, there's a bunch of stuff I'm looking at, and there's a bunch of stuff too I'm not showing y'all, and a bunch of charts that I just haven't revealed to anyone yet, because one, those systemizations are private, and two, once I've refined it more, where it's easier to understand for someone that's not as, mentally acute into trading, then I'll release it, because it'll be like drinking from a fire hose if I just show off a bunch of that stuff. Like, it would be information overload. And I feel like ICT already as it is already hard enough to understand. I mean, yo, lads. So, I was editing the video, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I might as well show y'all a great example of how I apply Goldbach within trading every day. Stuff y'all don't see. And today was just such a perfect example of it. I just had to show it off so y'all can understand, like, damn, there's really levels to this trading, and how I'm able to have such a high win rate and be so, like, precise, and really be able to call, like, how the market is going to move, right? Basically, this is Goldbach, and it relies on the trading with power of 3 and dealing ranges, and doing a little bit of math to find out your dealing ranges and to figure out how your power of three dealing range works within the price intervals you're at, right? So this comes from Nikola Tesla's power of three and his belief in how the number three is like super powerful. And he has a quote that he said that talks about if only you knew the magnificence of the numbers 3, 6, and 9 and the power and the secrets they would unlock to the universe, or like the key it would unlock to the universe or something. He said something like that, and he had all his math and everything dealt around the number 3, 6, and 9, bro. Like if you go look at it, it's very interesting, and it's pretty scary how accurate and how much stuff correlates to power 3 just in real life and in society, and how our systems are built in life and everything. And it's crazy to find that, and I personally don't think that's a coincidence. But you go look up power of 3 in real life and you go see how power of 3 is applied in society and everything. It's crazy. You'll find it all over the world. You calculate your dealing range, right? And I'm not going to get too into this, because this is just like to show y'all like something else I'm looking at while I'm trading. So you calculate your dealing range, right? And so right here, right, this is our dealing range, right? Where these lines are plotted on the chart where our dealing range is. And you can see right here, the low of our dealing range is 24867, and 2948 is our high. So our low is right here, 24867, right? Right here, our low. And our high right here is 24948. Yeah, 24948. So look, what does it say is going to form right here? Rejection block. What do we have right here? A rejection block. This wick comes up, test this high right here, throw a quadrant on this wick right here. Look how it's being respected. Boom, rejection block. It rejects off this wick, rejects off this high. Boom, induces our move lower. All right. What does it tell us next is going to form after the rejection block? An order block. At this line interval right here, at 24945, at price interval 24945.57, an order block will form. What is this right here? An order block. An order block. Now you're looking at me and you're watching this video and you're like, Pluto, how are you doing this? How are you able to figure out when the PD arrays are going to form before they formed, before price has gotten to that dealing range, to that area? Well, my G, it's just because I'm like that and I know how to fucking trade. That's how crazy this is, and how you can apply this to trading, bro. And this is like quant level shit. Like, this is mathematical quant level. Like, this is some stuff, bro. This is, if you want to trade, bro, come with me. I'm going to show you how to trade. Look, after an order block, what does it say is going to form? What does it say is going to form? What does it say? And look, I'm going to enlarge it. I'm going to enlarge it so you can really see, my G. We've already called when the rejection block is going to form. We've already called when the order block is going to form. Now, what is it telling us? At this price interval, 24936, a fair value gap will form. Well, what is that right there, my G? A fucking fair value gap. A fucking fair value gap right here. Told us it would form right here. After their fair value gap, what are we gonna have? A liquidity void. Liquidity void. Liquidity void at 24929. What does that line up with? The CE of the fair value gap that it told us it would form. Liquidity void. So we've called out when the rejection block will form. We've called out when the order block will form. We've called out when the fair value gap will form. We called out when the liquidity void formed. Now, what's after the liquidity void? The breaker block. And I'm about to really knock your socks off right here. I'm about to really knock your socks off right here. Really knock your socks. Like, I'm telling you, I'm about to show you something. I'm about to really show you something. Tells us a breaker block will form right here, right? I mean, who does it like me? What do we have? High, low, higher high, lower low. lower low. I mean, how can I what else can I do to tell you like this shit is insane? Look at this. Bearish breaker block right here. High, low, higher high, lower low. Look, trade to the CE of this breaker block. Right here, within where it told us the breaker block would be referenced, would be formed. Now this shit is crazy. Now what does it tell us will form? Mitigation block. Mitigation block. This right here. Mitigation block. Mitigation block. Right there. Right where it tells us it will form. Then equilibrium right here. Look where equilibrium's at of also the breaker block that would told us it would form. Right? Then another mitigation block right here. Then after mitigation block, a breaker block. Well, do we have a breaker block? High, low, higher high, lower low. So we had a breaker block. Breaker block gets referenced to right here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You could have literally taken an entry off the breaker block. Look at this right here. This wick. Look at this wick. This wick right here. Look at that. Literally, this breaker block right here gets referenced, and then we have this wick, and you could have caught an entry off that. Dead ass. Then after breaker block, liquidity void. Well, what do we have right here? Liquidity void. Then tells us another fair value gap perform. Alright. Right here. No fair value gap formed. Okay? No fair value gap formed. Fine. Order block. Right here. Order block. Right here. Order block. And it gets traded to the tick. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Order block right here. Trades down. Buy back up to the tick. Hits the order block. Opening price, sensitive point of the order block. Then we trade down. And that's the dump for the day. Right there. So you see how crazy this shit is? You see how insane this shit is? So if you really want to learn how to trade, bro, I can get you right and I can teach you how to trade. Hopefully this video was some sauce for y'all and really was insightful more on like how my whole system is and everything. And this is not even like it all either. There's so much more I'm looking at and stuff. But you have to do it, bro, and I enjoy it. I'm passionate. I got the motivation for it, you know. So yeah. This is fire. Appreciate you all watching, giving me time. Also hundreds of concepts. So yeah, this was basically how you could have caught the trade for today. And I'll show y'all my top step right here. You can see sold 10 cons at 249.16 and we sold at 752. So yeah, my G's, great day today. And yeah, if you didn't catch a W today, it's all good. Do not worry about it. There will be other trading days and there will be other opportunities to trade, I promise you. So this was my trade recap for the day. First day on the funded. Appreciate y'all tuning in, giving me your time and attention. And yeah, hopefully this video is insightful. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover, let me know. Make a comment, do whatever, message me, let me know. So yeah, on that note, lads, let's get a little send-off tune going.
Let me know where it's at. Make some noise from the front to the back. Let me know where it's at. Come on. Make some noise from the front to the back. Let me know where it's at. Make some noise from the front to the back.
Let me know where it's at.
Yeah, make some noise from the front to the back. Let me know where it's at.
All right, lads. Hey, I'm wishing you a well Monday and a well week, and hopefully we all can emerge victorious at the end of this week. All right, lads. Take it easy. As always, never stress.